Hello. Okay, so this is chapter 5, the Holy Spirit, being wholly joyous. And I'm going live again because yesterday, after I read the book, I felt so joyful after reading and sharing that it was just, it felt really good. So, being wholly joyous. To heal is to make happy. I told you once to think how many opportunities you have to gladden yourself, and think how many you have refused. This is exactly the same as telling you that you have refused to heal yourself. The light that belongs in you is merely the light of joy. The radiance is not associated with sorrow. Depression is often contagious, but although it may affect those who come in contact with it, they do not yield to its influence wholeheartedly. But joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share in it, and thus promotes the mind's natural impulse to respond as one. Those who attempt to heal without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kinds of responses at the same time, and thus deprive others of the joy of responding wholeheartedly. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, then the only possible whole state is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible whole state is the wholly joyous. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate and make one. That is why it makes no difference to what part or by what part of the sonship the healing is done. Every part benefits, and benefits equally. You are being blessed by every beneficent thought of any of your brothers anywhere. You should want to bless them in return out of gratitude. You do not have to know them individually, or they you. The light of joy is so strong that it radiates throughout the sonship and returns thanks to the Father for radiating his joy upon it. Only God's own holy children are worthy to be channels of his beautiful joy, because only they are beautiful enough to hold it by sharing it. It is impossible for a child of God to love his neighbor except as himself. That is why the healer's prayer is, "Let me know this brother as I know myself." Healing is an act of thought by which two minds perceive their oneness and become glad. This gladness calls to every part of the sonship to rejoice with them, and to let God himself go out into them and through them. Only the healed mind can experience revelation with lasting effect, because revelation is an experience of pure joy. If you do not will to be wholly joyous, your mind cannot have what it does not will to be. Remember that the spirit knows no difference between being and having. The higher mind thinks according to the laws which the spirit obeys, and therefore honors only the laws of God. To him, getting is meaningless and giving is all. Having everything, the spirit holds everything by giving it, thus creating as the Father created. If you will think about it, you will see that while this kind of thinking is totally alien to having things, even to the lower mind, it is quite comprehensible in connection with ideas. If you share a physical possession, you do not divide its ownership. You do divide its ownership. But if you share an idea, You do not lessen it. All of it is still yours, although all of it has been given away. Further, if the person to whom you give it accepts it as his, he reinforces it in your mind and thus increases it. If you accept the concept that the world is one of ideas, the whole belief in the false association which the ego has made. If you're still here, sorry about that, I couldn't get it, just the internet went off. So the final part of this section is, let us start our process of a reawakening with just these few simple concepts. Thoughts increase by being given away. The more we believe in them, the stronger they become. Everything is an idea. How then is it possible that giving and losing can be meaningfully associated? This is the invitation to the Holy Spirit. I told you that I could reach up and bring the Holy Spirit to you, but I can bring him to you only at your own invitation. But I can bring him to you only at your own invitation. I guess it's Christ bringing Holy Spirit on the invitation. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm doing now, just sharing an idea, because it just felt really joyful yesterday afterwards, just reading the course. And I thought to do it every day. I was really tired and didn't feel like doing it, but I thought, okay, just a little bit every day, no matter how I'm feeling. Yeah. I feel joy now, just the experience of sharing this. It's been an interesting day. I guess just by reading this, I'm sharing the thought, and then I'm experiencing the joy of the sharing, and it's increasing. And that's why I feel the joy of this. And yeah, should do it more. Okay, sorry about the cut off, and have a nice day. And I made some new videos. I'm putting lots of stuff out at the moment. I went through a very intense couple of weeks. I went into I felt like I was getting so close to the release point of releasing the ego completely. And it was going faster and faster. It felt like the speed up. And then suddenly bodily symptoms, loads of different things happening, flies, just the swarms of flies. And I couldn't sit still. And I just had to leave. And as soon as I left Cambodia on the bus, suddenly all the inspiration, all the desire to give and to share came back. And I was thinking, sometimes so many times we stay within a situation, we stay within a circumstance, we're not really sharing, or maybe it's the energy of the place or the situation is keeping us stuck, and we just need movement. It's okay, the idea to think, oh, I can just forgive it. And some people listening to teachers, it's just the entering the holy instant, but there's often a need for a shift in our external circumstances, and how that can be just as important as the internal shift. Right. Anyway, have a nice day or evening wherever you are. I'm by the sea in Thailand right now. Okay. Bye-bye.